There really isn't a one size fits all single path for everyone to take to become a skilled trial lawyer. It's going to be dependent on your situation and circumstances. But what you're going to see in this video is a very unconventional journey to becoming that skilled trial lawyer. In particular, the tactical attorney himself, Eric Scramlin, is going to share how he went from shy high school kid to community college to fast forward a good amount to a trial lawyer with 100 trials under his belt. Yes, 100. That's a real number. And that blows my mind because nobody wants to go to trial these days. So that's a number that not a lot of people are ever going to hit. So if you want perspective on how you can become a trial lawyer yourself, this is definitely a video to watch. Just keep in mind that the full interview can be accessed by clicking up here. And if you enjoy this interview and content like this, be sure to hit the like button. Allows it to rank a little bit higher, reach more people, ultimately help more people. Don't forget to subscribe. And with all that said, I hope you enjoy.
For me, it goes back to college. You know, one of my best friends in high school, he was like one of those guys that was always way ahead of his time. Even in high school, he's like, I got to go to Michigan State. I got to get this kind of GPA so I can get into Michigan State Law School. And I was always good at, like, you know, the social sciences in high school, terrible at math, everything else. So I kind of had that in the back of my mind. And I went to college. I played a little baseball. I thought, you know, I'm going to be here for a year or two and I'm getting drafted. Well, that didn't work out. So I transferred from my community college to a university, and like the first, you know, in the summer, everyone's getting there and they have this big career fair, and I see this table and it says mock trial team. And I'm like, I'm kind of thinking about going to law school. So I go have a conversation and thinking it was like a club. It's not a club. It's the Western Michigan University mock trial team, just like their sports teams. And they were giving away information, and they told me they had tryouts for walk-ons because they recruited people that were doing well that the professors would notice. And I'm this new guy. So I'm like, what the hell? I'm going to try out as a walk-on. And I come in, and in college mock trial, you got to play a witness as well as do the attorney role. So I come in there and they give you a script, and I just it was like an 80-year-old proctologist. So I go to the Halloween store. It's like an acting store actually in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I get like a wig and I get like makeup and everything, and I come in there and I basically play the role that Will Ferrell played as Harry Carey, just like shaking and stuff. And I could see like the old professor who runs it, he's laughing, and sure enough, I made the team as a walk-on. And it took me about a year and a half kind of watching the seniors compete. And it was intense. Like, I still think back to some of our competitions at like regionals and nationals, and that was every bit as in-depth as any trial I've ever did, the real thing. But I remember about my second year in mock trial when I started to get into the attorney role and getting into the groove. I just had this moment where I'm like, this is it. This is what I want to do. It's like playing baseball. It's competitive. I want to be a trial attorney.
And so was it through mock trial that you figured, okay, I need to be in the courtroom? Or was that like, hey, I just need to go to law school?
Yeah, it was the courtroom. I knew from doing mock trial that I wanted to be a trial attorney. You know, when I went to law school, I was like anybody else. You know, you do contracts, and I did really well. And I started thinking about other areas where you can make money, but I never really thought seriously about anything else. I know that the second that I got my degree and passed the bar, I'm going to apply at every prosecutor's office in the state, and I want to get in the courtroom. In Michigan, they don't have a public defender's office. It's all by contract for the most part. Some counties, some of the bigger counties, have a small department, but so I knew if I wanted to get in the courtroom, I had to go be a prosecutor, and that's what I tried to do. As it turned out, I had to move halfway or all the way actually across the country to get a job as a prosecutor. And, you know, I did it, and it was a great experience. But getting back to your question, I knew from college, and it never changed in law school, that I wanted to do trials.
With mock trial, was there something you were finding out about yourself? Like a lot of coaches, and even whenever I was interning, I remember, I think it was before my first trial, it was like, hey, you need to find your voice. And I remember during my first competitions, it was very unnatural. It didn't feel good. I felt like I was speaking another language. I was in a whole other world. Did did that come second nature for you, or were you able to kind of develop that style of yours over time?
I absolutely had to develop it. It's kind of funny. One of the other reasons that attracted me to mock trials, because in high school, I was kind of known as the shy kid. Matter of fact, like my younger brothers in high school, when they would tell my old teachers, like Erickson Law School, they were like, "You're lying. There's no way he can't talk in front of people."
Uh-huh.
I don't want to go off the rails here. I had one teacher, and everyone's got a story about a teacher who helped them. I had a teacher when I was a freshman where I did like a speech in front of the class, and it was hard. And she told me, she's like, "I'm dead serious. Like, you have a great public speaking presence. You could be a public speaker." And I never forgot that.
Uh-huh.
But getting back to your question, yeah, starting off as a rookie on the mock trial team where I'd play witnesses, and they would it was just like sports where it's like, okay, we're blowing this team out. Let's put Eric in and see what he can do. And the first couple times I came in there, it was an absolute disaster. I mean, it was like, if you put it in sports terms, it was like, bringing the rookie quarterback, fumble the first snap, throw an interception on the second one. I mean, I didn't know objections. They would object. I'd be like deer in the headlights. I was trying to copy stuff that I saw on TV. Like, I'm gonna go in there and act like Jerry Spence. And over time, I started to develop my own thing, because you can't copy someone else. You can learn from them and learn their techniques, but I had to learn what my style was and embrace it. And it took me a while to do it.